lovely morning to you, and good morning. Welcome to the 11th day in the month of August 2020, and my name is Bismarck Brown, and the program is The Front Page right here on Stream TV. We'll start off this morning with the Daily Graphic to find out what's making headline news this beautiful morning. The Daily Graphic today comes to the banner headline: Conquer the World with Ideas. President tax presidential page winners. 10 winners receive 1 million Ghana cedis. And President Nana Akufo-Addo yesterday presented checks totaling 1 million Ghana cedis to the 10 winners of the third presidential page at the Jubilee House, and urged the young entrepreneurs to be innovative to conquer the world. The 10 who were selected from over 600 applicants across the country were made to pitch, that means present and defend their innovative business ideas before a panel of judges in the presence of President Akufo-Addo and other dignitaries at the Mervyn Peak Hotel a couple of months ago. We say congratulations to all the winners. On the front page of Daily Graphic as well: abhor acrimonious politics, Catholic bishops entreat, and that is a very important call coming from the clergy. And going into the 2016 elections, the Catholic Bishops' Conference have entreated all to be wary of politicians who, as it were, instigate violence and encourage violence. And I quote, "As a nation, let us do everything in our power to maintain the enviable reputation we have so far established as one of Africa's leading countries, whose democratic development is a shining beacon for others to follow." And it comes with a photograph of Most Reverend Philip Name, and it's contained, you find a story at page 16 of the Daily Graphic of today. The Daily Graphic also says dismissed students pardoned to write exam, and the Ghana Education Service has granted the 13 dismissed candidates of the ongoing West African Senior School Certificate Examination WASE the permission to go back to their schools to continue with the exam. The decision was arrived at yesterday after an engagement by the Minister of Education, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, with the management of the Ghana Education Service as requested by President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, and that's on the front page of Daily Graphic as well. We turn our attention to Daybreak newspaper banner headline. Indeed, we're told that it's a story that is coming up. Burma camp shields Lebanon gun smugglers as soldiers sell guns to public, and it comes to the photographs of some 6 suspects on the front page here of Daybreak. Daybreak says we should hold on, the details would follow. Daybreak also says how Rawlings made me lock drunk males in my office, Ahwoi recounts, and this book is indeed causing a lot of controversy within politics in Ghana, and the book is authored by former Minister of Local Government and Rural Development Kwame Ahwoi, titled Working with Rawlings. And the book, according to Daybreak newspaper, narrates the things that were getting desperate for the party, the NDC I mean, back then. And according to Professor Ahwoi, in the midst of desperation and in very fortuitous circumstances, he came up with what eventually turned out to be the solution to the party's dilemma. He recounted that Professor Mills had just lost to Professor Ivan Adai-Mensah by a single vote in the University of Ghana Governing Council, the opposition of for the position of Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana. The Minister of Education, Harry Sawyer, whose preferred candidate for the Vice Chancellorship position was Professor Mills, with whom he shared some Accra Hearts of Folk affinity, spoke passionately in a cabinet meeting about Professor Mills and how he wished Prof. Mills had won the position. And the story goes on and on and on to recount an encounter where he had to lock up Professor Mills, as he describes him, drunk. Well, I'm not too sure what your reaction to the story is all about. Daybreak newspaper says Mahama in the eye of the 2020 storm is also a caption on the front page of Daybreak. Ignore Mahama's hate for votes campaign, and that's coming from the scribe of the NPP, John Bwedu. Let's do the Chronicle right about now and find out what's making headline news on the front page of the Chronicle. If you recall, some months ago, armed men stormed Sogakope and shot and killed Marcus Mauto Ajali. Well, on the front page of the Chronicle, Sogakope campaign arrested. Sogakope murder campaign arrested, I beg your pardon, and it's captured by the Chronicle of today. We congratulate the police on pursuing this matter to the latter. In the headquarters of the Criminal Investigations Department says it has arrested all 7 suspects involved in the murder of the Sogakope assemblyman. The suspects are Richard Adechiri, Stephen Ajibolo, Emmanuel Hedro, and Kofi Zotovi. The others are Christian Zotovi and Michael Sam Obed Agonu. And it will be recalled that about 1 a.m. on March 1, 2025, armed men robbed a house belonging to Mr. Mauto Ajali Marcus, assemblyman at Old Ningo, murdered him and made away with a number of items, including 2 motorbikes. They have been apprehended, and we say kudos to the police. On the front page of the Chronicle, banner headline, New Register Vindicates Us, says NPP. And the ruling New Patriotic Party has said that the just ended voter registration exercise has corroborated its long-held stance that the old register was bloated. The party says it has been consistent in their advocacy for a new register, and the regulatory body, the Electoral Commission, seeing the need to put together a new one, vindicates the party's position, and it's captured by the Chronicle. So straight from the NPP camp, let's move straight into the NDC camp. And on the front page of the Chronicle, Sami Jemfi, who is the director of communication for the NDC, is on the front page of the paper. NDC says PDS collected 1.5 billion Ghana cedis, but money not accounted for. The opposition NDC has disclosed that the erstwhile Power Distribution Services, which took over the assets and operations of the Electricity Company of Ghana between 1st March 2019 and 18th October 2019, collected a whopping 1.5 billion Ghana cedis from electricity consumers in the form of bills. However, the NDC explained that till date, the New Patriotic Party government led by President Akufo-Addo has not been able to bring to book persons who, quote, perpetrated what government itself alleges to be fraud on the people of Ghana, unquote, saying they had all been left off the hook. The party mentioned the names of some prominent personalities who, according to them, aided and facilitated the scam, which has occasioned the nation huge financial losses. And that was said in a press conference yesterday. So 2 press conferences were held yesterday by the 2 leading political parties, the NPP and the NDC. The National Youth Organizer of the NPP, Henry Nana Boakye, is on the front page of the Chronicle. Caption says, "Don't trust Mahama, he will collapse free SHS." That's attributed to Nabi. Daily Guide this morning comes with a sprawling headline, NPP fires hate for votes NDC campaign. And the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, John Bwedu, has descended on the National Democratic Congress flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, for what he describes as his adoption of a hate for votes as his campaign strategy. And he raised these matters at a press conference held at Alisa Hotel in Accra to state the party's position on the just ended voters registration exercise. On the front page of the Daily Guide as well, porn website MD grabbed over sextortion. Well, I'm sure you're wondering what word is sextortion. Well, we're told it's a new word, and we will know about it pretty shortly. A 39-year-old blogger and director of Empress Leak a pornographic website which publishes nude pictures and videos of people, especially ladies, has been grabbed. The Cybercrime Unit of the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service is holding Anderson Ofosuhene Enim, aka Mario G, for sextortion, a new word which refers to blackmailing victims so they would part with monies to avoid being featured on their website. Empress League has been in existence for a long time and has been publishing mostly leaked nudity of individuals on the internet. Suspect Mario G was said to have extorted various sums of money ranging from 500 cedis to 2,000 cedis from his victims before pulling their pictures down from the website Empress League. Some of his victims, according to the police, are school children below the ages of 16. And it goes on and on and on. And it's captured by Daily Guide. Ahwoi throws jabs at Rawlings is a caption also on the front page here of Daily Guide, and still referring to the book Working with Rawlings. Daily Guide tells us a bit more about what is contained in the book. It's time to check out what the Ghanaian Times is putting out today. The Ghanaian Times this morning says Beirut port explosion. 350 Ghanaians head home from Lebanon as Lebanese embassy opens book of condolence in Accra, and more than 350 Ghanaians in Lebanon are expected to arrive in Accra today. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Ms. Shirley Ayokobotwe, has announced. This constitutes the fourth batch of evacuees to be airlifted into the country through a special arrangement by the government following the closure of Ghana's borders on March 16 earlier this year in the wake of the coronavirus disease. And it's on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. President presents 100,000 Ghana cedis to presidential page, third season winner. And that's also captured by the paper. Well, 2 health workers suspended over alleged sale of PPE in Rage Hospital is a caption on the front page here of the Ghanaian Times. As well, let's talk about some riots, and it has to do with students who are participating in the ongoing WASE. 13 riotous students to write exams under Guardian escort, and that's also captured by the Ghanaian Times. We head straight to the camp of the Finder newspaper. Banner headline, self-reliance is the way forward. President urges young entrepreneurs, and the president took time to encourage young entrepreneurs to be self-reliant and stop looking at government giving them jobs to do. And he said this when he handed over checks to winners in the presidential pitch. The Finder says NPP's bloated voters register position vindicated. Comes to the photograph of John Buedu. Also on the front page of the Finder, fishing industry at the verge of collapse due to over-exploitation. And we really ought to pay attention to our oceans and the stock of fish in there. The Finder reports today. The National Enquirer this morning says, ahead of NDC's manifesto launch, Mahama announces key initiatives. $10 billion infrastructural big push, accused the Akufo-Addo for politicizing judiciary, military, and the EC. And it says that if Akufo-Addo can ask Domelevo to go on leave, Chief Justice EC boss can be ordered to do same. The National Enquirer also says NDC assures we will retrieve 1.5 billion cedis revenue collected by PDS in fraudulent power concession, and that's on the front page of the National Enquirer. Well, let's move on to some other papers. The Daily Statesman is our next paper. I beg your pardon. The Daily Statesman says babies with sharp teeth won 2008 for males. Ahwoi accuses Rawlings of busily scheming for his wife. The Daily Statesman also says we are vindicated over bloated register, says NPP. Well, we'll turn our attention to the last newspaper for domestic news. The Daily Dispatch this morning says voters register comparison 2016 and 2020. Greater Accra, Northern and Central, and you have the figures as they were recorded. On the front page of the Daily Dispatch as well, John Mahama praises EC. Voters registration met expectations. That's an interesting one coming from John Mahama, who together with his party have had issues with Mrs. Jean Mensah and the Electoral Commission going into this exercise from day one. Well, today, according to the Daily Dispatch, he is full of commendation for the EC. 2020 US elections, Russia supporting Trump and China supporting Biden. Isn't that interesting? Well, that's on the front page here of the Daily Dispatch. Let's head straight into Africa. And inside Africa today, 6 French citizens killed in Niger attack by gunmen. And the front page story this morning says 6 French gunmen have attacked a group of aid workers in Niger, killing 6 French citizens. Their local guide and driver officials have said the gunmen arrived on motorcycles and opened fire. The governor of Tillaberi region, Tijani Ibrahim, told French news agency AFP they were in the Kuru region, which attracts tourists who want to see the last heads of giraffe in West Africa. That's one bad story happening on the continent. Well, let's look at another worrying trend also in Africa. Nigerian singer sentenced to death for blasphemy. Guess what? A musician in Nigeria's northern state of Kano has been sentenced to death by hanging for blaspheming against the Prophet Muhammad. An upper Sharia court in the Hausa Filling Hockey area of the state said Yahya Sharif Aminu, 22, was guilty of committing blasphemy for a song he circulated via WhatsApp in March. Mr. Sharif Aminu did not deny the charges, but Judge Kadi Aliu Muhammad Kani said he could appeal against the verdict. The singer, who is currently in detention, had gone into hiding after he composed the song. We're told that protesters had burnt down his family home and gathered outside the headquarters of the Islamic police known as the Hizbah, demanding action against him. Also in Africa, row in Somalia over forced child marriage bill, and Somali activists have started a petition urging Parliament to reject proposed legislation that they say could allow child and forced marriages. The petition, signed by more than 6,000 people so far, says the proposed legislation contravenes the country's constitution and international conventions. Quote, the Federal Parliament of Somalia is set to vote on a heavily amended intercourse bill that will further violate the human rights of people, agency and bodily autonomy of children, women and girls in Somalia, unquote. Well, that's about it and all the issues happening on the continent of Africa and also in Ghana. We'll leave it here, and thank you so much for your time on the front page. My name is Bismarck Brown. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow and like our Facebook page as well. Have a super day.